Here is our theme song for a really great podcast. I'm Billy Montana and I co-host Finding My Voice, from the yucky to the funny with Kristen Toepfer. Kristen was a model and walked at New York Fashion Week. And suddenly she fell ill and had a hemorrhagic stroke. She couldn't talk for 2 years. She would watch the birds in her backyard. Doctor said she wouldn't make it. Her major victory was walking from her front door to a mailbox. Now she can walk 3 miles. She's a miracle. She's resilient and a tough Jersey girl. She is the voice of the voiceless. She has a book coming out called Finding My Voice. She is a stroke and aphasia advocate. Take a listen to this informative and real fun show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast, the Kristen Toepfer podcast. Why My Brain is an Asshole, Part 2. Today's focus is going to be on seizures. Hello, Kristen. How you doing today?
Hello. Good, how are you?
I'm good. So guess what? I heard from a little birdie that you're going to be writing a book.
Yes,
That's exciting.
it is exciting.
I think what the listeners need to know is that just because you're slow in speech because of the things that you've had, the stroke, the aphasia, and all the recovery that you have, but Kristen's thoughts are there. She has all the thoughts, so it's just slow coming out. But we're talking about somebody that was an engineer for UPS and is extremely smart, and this caused her to just the speech to slow down, but her thoughts are still there and she's getting better and better. And I'm so proud and so excited that she's going to be writing her first book, which has started, right? You've already started the book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, awesome. All right, Kristen. So today, my first question for you is, what is an adverse effect from your seizures?
The adverse effects for me is I started schizophrenia is also caused by repeated seizures, and since I had brain um, scar tissue and plus seizures, that's why I ended up with the schizoaffective. So people need to know that it could also cause schizophrenia.
Yeah, we've talked about that on part 1 of this episode.
Yeah.
And we talked about the white matter and the scar tissue and everything else. So these seizures that you have, they cause schizophrenia, correct?
Yes, I have Todd paralysis seizures. And the first one I had was caused by a brain infection. And I had to get brain surgery, and they had to wash out my brain. And that was when they were putting on a, yeah. I had a cradiotomy, and they had to put a plate in my head. And that's when I had a brain infection. So since then, I've been having Todd paralysis seizures, which only affects half my body.
So Todd paralysis, right?
So when I have the focal seizures, and then when I have a seizure pretty much paralyzed on this side. So sometimes it'll be 10 minutes, sometimes it'll be a half hour. One time when I was in the hospital, it was uh, almost 2 days. I think it was, no, one time it was 3 days when I couldn't move. It was, sometimes they think I almost thought I was having a stroke again, but it was the seizure. And a lot of people think that it might be a stroke, but it's actually a, a Todd paralysis seizure because you can't feel. I can't feel like this side, but this is what happens to me. Some people just have just the arm or the leg, but and then sometimes you have normal, not normal seizures, but when you get, I already have aphasia, so when you slur your speech afterwards, or you just have to get back together and you get confused afterwards. And this is just me though. Um, it, it stinks.
I bet. So is it different for everyone, this
Yeah,
seizure? And it affects everybody differently?
yes. But
Okay.
this is what happens to me.
Hmm. And so sometimes it could last for 10 minutes and sometimes it lasts for a couple days?
Yes, for me it would, well, since I'm already numb, but sometimes it affects the movement for me too.
Okay. Um, Now you've had 8 brain surgeries, right?
Yes.
So the brain surgery that you're just was describing, was that your first one, or was that one that happened later on down the line?
That was the second one because as soon as I got home from the first time I was in rehab, I had the first brains that or that second brain surgery, get home, and then everything I worked for was like wiped clean. I had to relearn how to walk again. I had to relearn how to speak again. I had to relearn everything. That that seizure wiped everything.
So with these brain surgeries that you've had, how far apart were they? Were they like years apart, months apart, weeks apart?
Months apart.
So that had to be
They were months apart.
taking a toll on you, I bet, right?
Yeah. If I have a bad seizure, um, sometimes I have to get some super duper physical therapy and get back up to my baseline.
Okay. Can you share a personal experience with seizures and how they've impacted your life?
I can't drive, so um, when I go for a walk, I have my dog to help me. I keep a life alert on me everywhere I go. Um, it's good to have um, jewelry on that says you have seizures, just in case that happens. Since mine are Todd and focal seizures, I'm awake through the whole time, so I can voice that I'm having a seizure. Um, so that's the good part, but it's also bad that I'm also awake during them. So like when I'm shaking and it's just not fun, obviously, that
Right.
but at least I know what's happening.
Well, that's good that they have things for you out there, tools, stuff that you wear, like LifeLock, as well as, jewelry, so people can know if you just happen to fall and whatever may happen. But I have a question for you when it comes to your dog walking you. Like, you must have, I don't, what kind of dog do you have? Do you have enough, obviously you have enough strength to walk the dog, right? Or is the dog trained to help you specifically?
There are dogs that can detect seizures. My dog could tell for like my heart rate that I was gonna have, or dogs just can sense it sometimes that when you're about to have one, um, it just,
Wow, so that's amazing. So your dog could actually tell what your heart rate is?
yeah, he knows like when I'm gonna have a panic attack as well.
Oof. So let me ask you, is this dog something that you had post-stroke or prior?
Post stroke, he actually passed away 2 months ago, but I'm getting another dog that will do the same thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's amazing. So the
That's
dogs are trained actually to help you then.
yes.
So that's a tool. Wow. See, you learn something every day because I had no idea. So that's pretty awesome. I'm sure a lot of listeners out there would like to know that information as well. Um, what are some of the common misconceptions about seizures that you've encountered, and how do you address them?
Well, when like for me, if I'm having a focal seizure and I'm just sitting there and I'm just staring into space, that pretty much means that I'm gonna have a seizure, and I just need to make sure I'm sitting down or I'm having one right staring at you, or they're kind of tricky. Um, I have them a lot at night, so I really don't know when I'm gonna have one or until I start shaking, and then I get up or go to the bathroom, or I try to get there because half of my body isn't working. Um, yeah, I mean, people live like this, you know. There's millions of people that suffer with this too, but you have to keep keep going.
And you do that
And
really well. So you're very resilient, and that's really a great
hopefully,
thing. But how did you first learn about your diagnosis, and what was your initial reaction?
it was hard because I thought it was just over in the hospital. I was like, well, you know, that it's over, right? Like, I'm not gonna have another one. But then they keep coming. So with medication, you should be okay. And I'm supposed to, like, I know my triggers are from stress, and if I don't eat good, if I don't sleep good, medication, you have to make sure you take your medication and on time and the right dosage. Um, Sometimes I'll not take it on time, or I don't take it the right um, the right medicine. And sometimes if I don't do that, then I end up having a seizure. So make sure you do that.
Um, I remember seeing something on your Facebook. I don't remember when. Could have been 6 months ago. I'm not exactly sure. But you had a post up about being, was it a year seizure free?
I actually had one last night, so that's why I'm a little um,
Little off today.
winded or
So really, so last
it
night
happens.
at the time of this podcast, you are doing this podcast when you just had a seizure
Yes, I had one early this morning.
early this morning, and you're doing a
So
podcast.
that
Like, this is just a
yeah,
testimony how amazing you are. Like, not even a seizure could stop you.
it was like, oh, we were gonna do seizures today. Well, I'm gonna keep doing it because that's what we were gonna talk about.
Wow. So before this one, when was the last one?
Um, I'm not sure. Probably last month, actually. I think the heat does it too. So it's this this time of year that
So
make sure you stay hydrated.
the heat causes this as well,
Well,
or
it doesn't help if
doesn't
I
help,
don't,
contributes to it. Yeah.
and it help the heat doesn't help with my phasia either. So
Mm.
heat's not good.
Yeah. I mean, I live in Florida, and it's very humid here this time of year. So I get it. I feel it. Physically, I feel it. So I can only imagine how it affects you. So do you know how many seizures you've had since you've had the stroke? Has it been like in the hundreds? Like, how many do you think you've had?
Mm, I'm not sure, but definitely not in the hundreds. Um, I'm not sure.
Okay. When it comes to the seizures, what was the longest stretch that you didn't have any? Was it a year? Was it 2 years? Was it a month?
And that was because I thought that I was going to be able to get my license back, and then I had a good stretch, and then it didn't happen. So that's not going to happen.
How long do you have to go without seizures before you can get a license again?
I think it was. Oh, I'm not sure. I think everybody's different of
Okay.
what kind of seizures, or um, how long. I think it's up to your doctor.
Okay.
If that works.
Medications. What do you take to help not have a seizure? Do you take daily
I'm on
medication?
3 medications now. I don't know how to pronounce them.
Okay. And is it daily, these 3 medications? Are they daily ones?
Yeah, twice a day.
Twice a day? Okay. So what are some important steps you've taken in managing your seizures and the effects on your daily life?
Well, I make sure that I take my medicine. I try to cut back on caffeine, and I try to eat healthy, I definitely walk as much as I can to try to, keep moving and avoid stress. Uh, Who knows how to do that? Otherwise, let me know.
So walking is extremely important. I think everybody kind of knows that walking has a lot of benefits, but I'm also kind of curious because you say stress. What what do we have that's causing you stress right now? Like, what are some of the stresses that you have, and how do you deal with that stress?
Well, I like to walk in nature. I like to color a lot. I started like to do knitting I like to um just like little things like that. Um, I like to watch TV sometimes. Um, the book, I like to look at that. Just like little things like that that try to keep me occupied.
So what kind of stress do you have? Is it trying to figure out what shirt you're gonna wear the next podcast? Or do you have other stresses that you what kind of stress do you have?
I just have re- uh, I don't know, lots of things, life.
Life? As an advocate, what resources or support networks have you found most helpful for people living with seizures?
There's a lot of Facebook groups because there's groups for everything. There's websites online for seizures. You can always ask for the hospital for groups. Your doctors can show you or give you information about groups or websites that help you out. Um, there's things like that for local stuff. There's also not just nation or wherever, there's also local things out there.
So what kind of stress do you normally have that contributes to this? What's your stress that you somebody give me some examples of stress that you have.
But sometimes, if I have doctor appointments, I have to get an Uber because I can't drive. Um, if I want to cook anything, I can't use the oven or the stove because I still can't feel this side of my arm. So I use an air fryer. Um, being in it's kind of like a burden when I go out. I'm afraid that I'm gonna do have a seizure out there. Um, depending on who I'm with, and just the anxiety of that of going out, um, stressful.
Yeah, that's all understandable.
I'm
Um,
sure other people are like that too.
yeah. Well, before we got on air today, and we were just talking about your book, one of the things that we were talking about was how do you navigate relationships and social situations while living with seizures?
That's what I'm trying to work on with going out again and trying not to be so isolating myself. But that's that's what I'm trying to work on is going out and being social. You
Yeah,
know,
so I think
everyone's
also, like, just to interject it for a second, um, you could like let the viewers know and listeners that when you're out there and you're afraid to have a seizure in front of somebody and the effect that it's gonna cause them, and you're actually thinking about other people and you're not thinking about yourself. So it's a very unselfish thing, but that's something that also adds stress to you is the fact that, you're afraid that you might have a seizure if you go out and what that's going to cause. So that's that's a fear
or
you
stroke
right? What?
or stroke.
Or stroke. Yeah. So kind of explain to the listeners about like that fear that you have about trying to go out to a party or a social event.
And that's it. Like I'm afraid to go out and have something medical happen, and then I have to rely on someone or people to help me. I mean, I have to carry around the life alert, and I don't want to have to rely on, I don't want to be a burden, I guess, to say, of the people that are with me. And I gotta get over it, and that's what I'm trying to do, and
So you have
not
a plan? Do you have a
isolate
plan
myself.
to try to overcome those things? Like, do you have a certain somebody or something that is there to help you out? Like if you go out, whether it's your husband or whether it's a friend, that you have somebody that will, you know, be there with you, that knows how to handle certain things, so you could feel more comfortable going out?
Yeah, I have my husband and my family, and yeah, I'm I'm working on it now.
Well, good, you should, because
I'm working.
you have a great personality and you always make people smile around you, so I think you should. Um, and one of the things that I think that you're really good at is overcoming your fears, so I'm sure you'll overcome this too. But what advice do you have for others who may be newly diagnosed with seizures?
And don't be afraid of it, and don't let you be a hermit like me. Do your research on it. Take your medication. Definitely take your medication. Find out what triggers you too. Like if you're like caffeine triggers you, or you don't eat, or you don't sleep, that might trigger you into your seizure. So you need to make sure, like, your body, so you have to make sure.
Yeah. So, Kristen, how do you stay positive and motivated despite the challenges you face as a stroke and aphasia survivor and somebody that has gotten many seizures? Like, how do you stay positive and motivated?
I stay positive because I know I'm gonna be okay. I just have to work on it, and I have I have my toolbox, so I need to keep doing the things I'm supposed to do, and that's how it keeps me positive that I want to be better, and I want to get healthier, and I want to make sure that that's what I'm doing, my goals. And my goal is to get outside, get more sociable, and to help people.
I think the last time we spoke, you were also talking about that you have a goal of riding a bike again.
I'm getting there. I have my bike. I got a bike.
So you
So
have you
I
been
just
riding
have
the
to,
bike, or is it a stationary bike, or how have you been getting that taken care of?
I have a bike. It's a little scary, but I still, I still have to balance it. Just to, it's
Do you have
gonna
training
be
wheels on
hard. Yeah, I should get them.
it? Well, Kristen,
Get a
I
little
don't ride
bell.
anything past you sometimes. Um, Final question. What are some common triggers for seizures, and how do you manage or avoid them in your daily life?
For me, it's definitely I need sleep. Um, not taking your medicine. Not eating. Not bright lights sometimes. Um, Stress. Um, those are my triggers. Um,
How do you manage them?
Sometimes if I work out too much, or I get overheated, that pretty much for the overheating, and when it's really hot out, that really gets me.
How do you avoid them in your daily life?
Well, if I get hot, I turn the air conditioning on and I stay indoors away from the sun. So that's if I go walking, I want to go in the morning or at night. So that's good. And I try to eat healthy. Um, that's probably sleeping and eating healthy is pretty good. Taking medication on time and the right doses, and making sure you follow up with your doctor if you have any new symptoms or having any effects or anything you need to call your doctor with. Call your doctor if you need some kind of support.
That's great advice. So, Kristen, give me a day in the life of Kristen Toepfer. Like, take me through a normal day with you.
I wake up and do my routine, and then I'll go to my group therapy, and then I'll come home and I'll make dinner, and then I'll relax a little bit, and then I'll hopefully go for a walk or something, and then it'll be time for bed.
Okay. So, any plans on you're going to be walking New York Fashion Week this year?
I am I'm hoping. I'm really I'm really excited to
Yeah. Last year,
working on my heels.
yeah, well, you did a great job last year. Maybe I should put up some pictures of some of the shots we took last year from New York Fashion Week and let people see that you're out there working really hard and you're doing everything you can to overcome all this. I think it's important for people to know that you're a hard worker. One of the reasons why you're getting through this is because you're stubborn, right? And you're determined to get over all this stuff, right? You refuse to lose, which is a great attitude to have. And also want to remind everybody that's listening to this podcast that if you want to look at some resources or if you want to go to uh, find out more about Kristen, go to KristenToepfer.com. That's KristenToepfer.com. KristenToepfer.com. This is the Kristen Toepfer podcast, stroke and aphasia advocate, and we are here to inform you and let people know what Kristen's been through and that it can help people get through these things and warning signs and everything else. So I love that Kristen's doing this to try to help others out there, and it's really important. So check out her website. Don't forget to subscribe. That's really important, as well as subscribing to all the podcasts. We're on all the major podcasts, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.